my haters, yeah, I'm popping. Shmurda gang like I'm Bobby. My brother's crazy and I'm body. She let me touch on her body. Got bands, I'm busting up bottom. My people need me, I got them. Had none, I come from the bottom. Spending money like I hit the lotto.
What's up, YouTube? Johnny Buddies here, back with another video, and today we're talking gimbals. The Feiyutech AK2000. They come up with some interesting names for these gimbals. We're going to check this out today. This is in my opinion, the best budget gimbal you can get on the market today. Let's talk about it. Now, I have played with quite a few gimbals over the years, from the original Ronin M, the MX, the S, the first edition of this type of gimbal, the RSC, the RS2, and now this little guy. And let's be aware, this is not meant for heavier cameras. As some of you know, I've been playing with the R6 in the 28-70. I didn't even attempt to put that on here. I probably should have, just for giggles, but it's probably a bit too much weight. But for most cameras, you're going to be good to go. Especially a Sony. I put a Sony A7 IV on here, and it beautifully worked. It was smooth like butter. Shout out to me. Which I'm liking. Very simple. You don't get the 360, but I feel like that is something that's quite overdone nowadays. The only downside, this is the downside to this gimbal. The only, after I've been using this for 4 weeks now, almost a month, and I gotta say, the only downside is the locks. They work great, but if you leave the lock on and turn the gimbal on, it doesn't tell you that the lock's, hey, the lock's on, turn it off. So if you leave it on, the motors get very, very hot. On the more expensive gimbals, the DJI gimbals, at least the latest ones to my knowledge, they tell you when the lock's on, like, hey, the lock's on, turn it off. So I guess it doesn't have sensors. So that's one thing that I can think of to take note of, really pay attention to, is do not leave the locks on when the gimbal is on, because it doesn't tell you. And you don't want to touch this thing after you make that mistake, because these get very hot and might be damaging. Anywho, let's give a quick little demonstration. You put the camera on, it's already balanced. And then you turn on the gimbal. There's a little button right here, very simple. Turn it on, it lights up, already on. Make sure you turn the locks off. And you have 3 modes. I've been using, this is just pan, and then you got pan and tilt. So if you want to go up, down, you know, move around, etc. I'm doing a really horrible example of that, but you get my point. I like to use these 2 modes. And the joystick, by the way, this joystick right here works really well. I was kind of surprised by that. It's nice and smooth. It's not harsh. I didn't have to tweak it in the app. It worked right away. And again, if you're looking for something very simple, very straightforward, the thing about the DJI gimbals, I do think they're better, but there's a lot more control, a lot more things you can do, good and bad. But if you're looking for something like just put your camera on it, balance it, turn it on, shoot, this is the one to get right now, especially if you have a lighter camera. And this is working. By the way, this fell in water and it still works. Now, as much as I love this gimbal, there is something a bit better than this gimbal. And that is my LUT pack. Link in the description below. Support your boy, because this channel is not monetized yet, but we're getting there. Please comment, like, share, spread the video, show some love. And if you want to support your boy, because I don't get paid for any of this right now, download my LUT pack. Now, it says Canon RF LUT pack. That's the most recent one that everybody seems to be liking, but that does work on other cameras. I recently put it on a Sony A7 IV, and the footage looked beautiful. The LUTs went right on it. I even matched it up with the Canon R6. You can see that video right here. And yeah, support your boy. I will greatly appreciate it. Let's get back into the video. So I'm really liking this. I'll throw up some footage, obviously some B-roll of me shooting it with the Sony A7 IV, and then some 70D in Magic Lantern RAW. Again, works beautifully, no complaints except for those locks. Make sure you do not want to leave the locks on. Battery life lasts a really long time. I have no complaints with the battery, and it charges pretty quick too. I'd say in about maybe an hour at most, and it lasts me all day. Shooting pretty much continuously, not continuously, but you know, you get my point, on and off here and there throughout the day. Build quality is really nice. This I actually really like. There's not like a rubber grip, but I don't mind this. I could easily hold this all day, no problem. Hi. As far as charging, you get a USB-C, which is nice to see. Welcome to the 21st century. Yeah, USB-C is should be a standard by now. So that's cool. Got your little power button, your joystick, again, simple buttons. Not quite sure what all these buttons do. My reviews are going to be a little bit different, by the way. A lot of other YouTubers are going to go into all the technical details. I like to just turn something on, put a lens on it, balance it, and shoot. I don't got time to sit here and fiddle with stuff. Some people like that. Other channels, feel free to do that. They already do. This is how I like to do my reviews, and I hope you don't mind that. So yeah, that about does it. I'm trying to think if there's any other complaints. I'm telling you, the only thing I can think of is that lock. The lock is really crucial. You got to pay attention to that. I didn't even mess with the USB. Again, I prefer straightforward gimbals. I don't like all this confusion. You got to plug a cable in, you got to go into the app, you got to tweak the settings, you got to do this. The DJI, you got to turn it so it's balanced. Like, you didn't have to do any of that with this. You balance a camera, you turn it on. You don't even have to have the app if you really don't want to, and just get your shot you need. You start shooting. So that's why I really like this. Again, there's nothing wrong with the DJI gimbals. You know, I love the RS2 that my friend has with the R6 and the 28-70. Beautiful setup, by the way. But it is a bit tedious if somebody just wants to pick up a gimbal and start shooting. Like, you have to really dive into it and configure it to get the best results. Whereas this, you kind of just put a camera on it and start shooting. And I love that. And I think you should love that too, because that's how I think gimbals should be. It shouldn't be this super complicated thing. I think they figured it out. And again, for the millionth time, make sure you don't leave those locks on. My name is Johnny Butters. Links will be in the description below if you want to buy that. I think, again, it's a really cool gimbal. And support your boy. Download my LUT pack. And yeah, see you in the next one.